What's up, tadpoles, and welcome back to the Lily Pad Porch Chat Podcast. I am your host, Brother Bullfrog, and the topic I want to bring to this porch chat today while we out looking on this pond is church. That's what I want to talk about. If you're from the South, then you know the South has a lot of two things. A lot of churches and a lot of prisons. And a lot of niggas in those churches and prisons. But I wanted to more talk about the complex relationship between the black community and Christianity. I want to give some of my insights, but also just some primary points that kind of justify not only the positives of its impact in the community, but also the negatives and some, I guess, common feelings about it. And I can maybe even tell a personal anecdote or two about it so you can understand where I'm coming from. Now, I want to bring up the fact that I could compare Christianity to Chitlins. And that sounds kind of blaspheme, I know. But look, Chitlins, the intestines of pigs, that's basically what Chitlins is. And the way my mama put it is, when I proposed this analogy to her, she said, one, that's open to my interpretation to compare Christianity to Chitlins. But also that if you don't cook them right, of course Chitlins is going to smell like shit. And at the end of the day, you're going to understand that is the entrails of a swine. But she knows people that can cook up chitlins so good, you wouldn't give a damn. And that kind of goes to show that, that's another thing. Christianity can be a tool for good. We have leaders that have used Christianity to their advantage for their motivations, their inspirations, so that they could advance black life. So it's not as if Christianity is inherently anti-black, but what we were given is essentially the scraps of an enslaver's crutch in a way. But that's not to say that, and also I would like to say that, first of all, black God and white God are different entities. Man, screaming in the mic. Let me chill out. Hold on. But white God and black God are different entities. And so, even though, white people and black people are using the same scriptures, if they're worshiping God or Jesus Christ, that's the guy doing it in the stories. They're not worshiping the same nigga. Can't be. Because you gotta understand, the enslaved people on plantations at night are not having their prayers answered by the same motherfucker listening on the overseer or enslaver's prayers as well. No, that's just not, it's not happening. But I would like to bounce back on the subject of some people needing God. And so while maybe God may not be the way for everyone, at the end of the day, the different religions that people are aligning themselves beneath are different paths to the same singularity, that same unified singularity, that being a feeling of safety and security with the community that they found. And so really, that's kind of one of the more positive things I can contribute Christianity for with the black community. At the end of the day, it was given as a tool to enslave niggas, but it was in God's name that Nat Turner ended up killing 55 white folk. But then as well, the white enslavers are using God to justify the killing of Nat Turner and the consumption and commodification of his corpse. So it's less about it's honestly less about the source. It's the same source, but it's true that at the end of the day, one's actions is clearly worse than the other. And clearly, the God that they're attributing their movements to can't be the same God. They don't have the same will, clearly. Because these are individual experiences that people are bringing together for the sake of a collective. If it takes God to bring down plantations, then bring God. Do it. Fuck it. Do it. Even if that's not what I'm on, do it. But like I said, another positive is at the end of the day, it's like with Chitlins, you got to understand that how it comes out and how it's perceived depends on how you're using it, basically. So, if, for instance, Cyrus the Great, when he showed up to them folks talking about, oh, God sent me here to save y'all niggas, he ain't believe that. He was just bullshit. It's the same way Trump does with these evangelist MAGA folks. And, he's positioning himself underneath God as like an arbiter for, Christian values and such. But he don't believe in it. He just knows that if he says that, it'll help. But he's also admitted he's not a Christian. He don't care. He'll be whatever people need him to be to, you know, do what he wants. It's that simple. And so it's like God himself is not the issue, but rather there's fucked up ideologies that use God as a wild motivator. And so, I mean, shit, because I know people that, they don't go to church, but, they read their Bible, they stay to themselves, they worship their own way. So they're taking a more individualistic path when it comes to consuming aspects of God. Like I got a homie, he don't go to church, but he's still tapped in with God. Like, that's his faith, and I respect that. I'm not on it, but at the same time, a motherfucker that can question themselves and learn more and still be devoted, I commend that. Cause like my mother said earlier, like, it's hard to be, worrisome and faithful at the same time. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from with the whole security thing. That at the end of the day, what God is for these people is safety and security. It just so happens that, in my experience, that wasn't what I was feeling. It didn't, draw me in. You get me? But, and shit, we can even bring up LNK in terms of using Christian values for the sake. Oh damn! I done brushed the mic. My fault, chat. But using Christian values for the sake of furthering a movement. They united under a cause and took some shit down. You get what I'm saying? But I would like to now explore more of the negatives of Christianity that I've observed, or at least taken note of. I mean, because for one, a lot of people have a gripe with the fact that a lot of Christians will place God above family ideals. And that can cause strain in a lot of relationships when there are people that may fall outside of what people feel is a mandate of God. And it puts strain and even stress on a familial relationship. Like, in the black community, I mean, you always seeing folks come out gay and then family want to act funny and then talk about it's like it's got to do with God and such. But I mean, issue is you can talk about God's love all day, but the issue is you abandoned your son and you don't care. Like, that's actually heartless. And the fact that that a religious idea like that can make you so cold, that's a bit disturbing. That an idea can truly come over your compassion for your kin at that. And so it's also an issue of the fact that people is having to walk away from their families. Like imagine, you come out as gay and the home you grown up in for years, the parents you've known for a lifetime, just gone. They push you out. Just because you don't love exactly like everybody else is doing, as they feel it's supposed to. And that's heartless, truly. And it's even more the fact that people will use God and stand behind God as a way to justify that. Like, I think there was a moment where I was some friends to watch a movie. It was Planet of the Apes, the new joint. And we got to the topic of homophobia, because of Chick-fil-A. And dude was talking about how, Jesus loves everybody, but he don't agree with, being gay. And it's like, while you may think that is kind and insightful of you to say, it's quite rude and it's disgusting. Because, I mean, for one, you hiding behind somebody else's love and somebody else's affections, and I can't even see the man. I'm not talking to Jesus. I'm talking to you, bro. And you talking about, oh, I don't agree with that. Well, brother, nobody cares if you agree. You shouldn't even feel comfortable expressing that because you keep talking about you don't agree with it if it's just like a movement. Like, this is like no, bro, this is just how somebody shows affection. That shit ain't got nothing to do with you. And then you using Jesus' love as if to like dampen the blow. Like, what are we talking about? Like, and it just frustrates me because it's like, this is cowardly. Just say, I don't like it. Don't add the extra shit. Don't add the fluff, bro. Tell me, just say it. Because you're almost there and you did. But some other people have a gripe with Christianity in the form of, colorism and Jesus being a white figure. Because It's not like you ain't been at a grandma or auntie house, a relative of some sort, and they got a copy, a copy of the Last Supper in their home, or some sort of Jesus with clouds aesthetic painted somewhere, proudly. And so that can be impactful on black youth when you growing up and your elders is praising the deity that'll do great things, and he looks white. He ain't got hair like yours. He don't got a wide nose like you do. His lips is thin, and his skin looks like the surface of a toilet bowl. Even though your skin is supposed to shine like bronze. And it's odd imagery. And you're just supposed to grow up and think that, okay, so this white dude's supposed to help me out. When I'm in my most unsafe moments and I need a helping hand, it's going to be a white man's hand to help me. And maybe I have a problem with that perception. And that's why you even get to folks talking about the entire argument of like Jesus actually being black. And so it's like, I keep it 100 with y'all. It really don't matter what race Jesus was, because at the time, I don't think black would have even really meant the same as it did back then. Like, Jesus could have been olive. He could have been black as night. Truth of the matter is, he had 12 niggas ready to ride for him. And motherfuckers swear up and down they seen that nigga rise 3 days later. The shit wild. Dark skin, light skin, shit. It's a bit colorist to even get into the what Jesus looks like. But I understand the reverse sentiment of wanting figures that look like you. But we got our own legends. We've got our own people to revere. But it can create some schisms. You get me? For people that are, kind of, I wouldn't say waking up, but getting more engulfed in the flames of a rage of this racial tension of this country at the moment. And some people don't agree with the white imagery. And you really can't blame them. But there's some folks that don't care for the imagery, they just care for the ideals. And so that's why some folks just read Bibles and they don't hold photos and such. If you know anything of, I think, what is it called? The iconoclast. It would have been an event where religious imagery would have been purged, because the idea of revering imagery would have been blasphemous in a way. And in some way that can make sense, but destroying artwork for that sake is a bit too much, if it is just the expressions of people. But I think that's where you kind of get the demonization of craftsmanship. I remember when I read the book for class, Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, and there was a missionary man talking to a Nigerian man about, the way he worshipped his gods and how he was bringing up these like wooden posts that would be conduits to the god. And so the white dude is misunderstanding, like, so you think that thing is God? And he's like, no, I don't think that this is God in here. This is how I connect to God. I've made something alluding to the force that I'm aligned with, and this is a pathway of that. This represents the pathway. And it's like, it doesn't stick. And maybe just these white folks need those invisible forces to adhere to, so that they can rebuild people's perspectives and make them think that their world is the objective natural world, just because you can't see the shit that they're saying. My brother said this a while back where he was talking about, how like white people thinking that black folks are stupid. That's a part of their natural world. And he was right. And so in the natural world, they think that in that natural world, they got a whole different thing going on than we do. It's a bit inauthentic. But in that natural world, invisible forces just take place and nobody's none the wiser and there's no one to blame. But the truth of the matter is, there are many people to blame. This is a collaboration of a domino effect of actions. But nobody wants to take the blame. You throw stones and you hide your hands. That's exactly what it is. But I still don't think that like black people are fucked up for worshiping Christianity. Fuck. I don't think black people are bad for worshiping God. And I wouldn't say that Christianity doesn't have a place in the black community, but we definitely need to be more mindful of the people that are using this as a tool for bigoted and discriminatory beliefs. Because you can have your God and empathy and sympathy for other people as well. I think that's quite possible. So I don't see why it's like it creates such a gap for us. But let me talk about more about, I guess, maybe what I believe in. And also, if you've made it this far in the video or, the podcast episode clip, comment a frog emoji with a satellite next to it. Let me know you a real nigga. Actually, if you're not, if you're white, hold on, chill. Matter of fact, if you made it this far in the video, I don't know, bro. Put a lily pad emoji. But if I describe my faith, I'd go as far as to say it's a bridge with many points. Because I see religions as basically, paths to the same unified singularity. I don't know if I've already said that or not, but that's kind of how I'm seeing it. Different paths to the same secure feeling. And so what makes me feel secure may not be a Christian God or some deified forces of the universe, maybe. You get what I'm saying? And so I kind of just accept that at the end of the day, everybody here is not too different than me. Like, the same way cells communicate using chemical signals, people talk to one another. We make up a greater God, I guess. And so spirituality for me is me tapping into myself. I know people talk about their faith and God and such, and for them, it's a warmth, it's love from outside of them. You feel that. But when I get that warmth, it's coming from inside of me. Whoa. Hold on. Actually. That's hold on. My fault. But when I'm feeling secure, that's my feeling. That's the allegiance from me. You get me? It's not coming from an outer source. My fault. I had to pause and clip that shit. I don't know why I worded my shit that way. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, this is different. Is different ways to shave your nuts. You get what I'm saying? Maybe you use scissors. Maybe you use a razor. Maybe you rip them. Maybe you're one of them people. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, the end goal is shaving nuts. You get me? Or maybe you don't want to shave your nuts. You want it to overgrow. That's fine. Your nuts, man. Yours. And that sounds bizarre, but I mean, like, were niggas not checking out the wee-wees and shit of, like when niggas would work out in, like, ancient Greece and shit? Or was it wrong? It would have been wrong, right? Yeah. They working out with people trying to figure out if they Jewish, and it's like, oh, yeah, your shit cut, man. What the fuck? You're one of them. Like, that's wild. So it's not even that far off. Niggas mad that they cut a little different. Not everybody cut from the same cloth, but we all cloth, bro. That shit. That's how it is. I don't want to be like, oh, it's not that deep. Yes, it's that deep. But just because it takes more work, it doesn't mean that, like, at the end of the day, it's not a caring collaborative project. You get me? Even if you do start to break things down and figure out the very nuanced differences between you and someone else, at the end of the day, you could honestly be that person if not for just where you're sitting. Like, it was only a stroke of luck that you managed to become you and not them. But that may be like egg theory stuff, and I'm not well versed enough on that to truly speak on it. But I also would like to talk about some shit that, like, let's move into just a yap session. You know what I'm saying? Like, this part actually was not planned. But I was talking about, because I was trying to prep for this audio clip earlier, like, just asking my folks about their faith. But in the process of that, I found out that, like, oxtail and turkey neck and shit has gone up in price. When I was a kid, I be spending time with my auntie and stuff. I'm eating shit. I'm eating cornbread, beans, turkey neck, rice. You know what I'm saying? Corn, baked chicken. Like, this is a good meal. What you mean nowadays niggas can't even afford turkey neck? What? Like I know niggas was talking about how like some shit used to be poor man's food and now it's a delicacy, like lobster or escargot. You get me? But like damn the turkey neck too. I ain't had that shit in so long, bro. I ain't macked on no bird neck in a minute, man. I ain't macked on no bird neck in a minute, man. I'm gonna give you a Umar 3P. I ain't macked on a bird neck in a minute, man. But you get what I'm saying? Like that's unfair. Y'all taking all the good shit. Shit wild. But let's honestly talk about the fact that like this nigga Trump got RFK as like some sort of health advisor. What the fuck? So I remember I'm seeing a lot of videos on TikTok talking about the reason why Europe was able to take over the world is because, you know, they spread diseases and they were extremely brutal. I mean, yeah. But that method never stopped. Like, the truth is with a lot of this shit, it never stopped. You know, niggas been eating, never stopped. That's what I talked about last time. But the idea of, you know, spreading diseases and being brutal, duh. Like, this nigga knows bird flu is coming on and they about to start becoming human to human transferable. I start wearing a mask at work. I got to get more used to wearing a mask at school too, but I don't be there as long. But, you know, I wear a mask at work and shit because niggas is talking about, you know, these viruses on the rise. Like, they're going to allow this virus to take us out. But, like, and I don't even want to be like no fearmonger, but they're talking about bird flu, you know, she got a 50% death rate. COVID wasn't even that high. And it took out a lot of people and they mishandled it ass. Niggas stuck inside. Nigga go to a party, next thing you know, everybody on the block got COVID. What the fuck? Like, niggas was having to do a fucking damn near sex chart the way they was having to like, oh, you were here and you got it from this person because they showed up here and they had it. Damn. And bird flu will kill half a room of people. If that shit becomes human to human transferable, y'all please start wearing your mask just more often. Because they not finna warn y'all about this health shit. They lied to us about how long it took COVID to clean from the earth because shit's still going on. But they about to leave us out to die. So it's like, even if you still got a spirit that's not going to be dominated by this ongoing fascism in the country, they might let that disease whip your ass. And they just showed you that your healthcare not going to be shit of it. It don't matter if you paid up, laid up, got the money in your pocket. You still going to catch that bird flu and coughing out. And I hope, honestly, there ain't shit wooden in here. And I hope that ain't me. I ain't gonna lie. I can't do it. I guess I would say in some ways I'm superstitious. Because, you know, even though a lot of black folks would consider themselves Christians, they still got practices that are rooted in like hoodoo traditions. Where there's certain superstitions or certain ailments of treating yourself that is, you know, like ginger ale and plain chips. You get me? Or like certain bad omens or bad karma. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I am superstitious. I guess if you had to put me in a category of spirituality or religiousness, I'm superstitious for sure. But it reminds me of when I'm listening to The Delectable Negro by Vince Woodard. I think that's his name, Vince Woodard or Vincent Woodard. But he talks about how like there's this like made up story of Matt Turner being like gay with a fellow plantation enslaved man, and you know they get into it, you know they jerking each other off and shit. They having their awkward loving moments, and I'm like, what the fuck? And even he knows, he's like, this probably wouldn't have happened. Like I be trying to tell y'all, black history from a white mouth is always revisionist history. Because this nigga tried to tell in that Turner story, it was talking about a gay love story, like gang. The issue ain't that you trying to write him as gay. You're also trying to further emasculate him after death with the way you're portraying him. Because these wouldn't have been moments you would have been told about while this nigga's damn near about to get lynched. But there's a moment where Nat Turner, you know, who's a devout Christian, he's talking with his lover man, best friend dude, and the dude is like, Jesus Christ, you know, he takes God's name in vain, and Nat slaps the shit out of him. You know, there's a moment where they look in each other's eyes, lovingly soft and shit. And it's like, he calls him a heathen. But I bring this moment up because I was also listening to Frederick Douglass's account where or at least Vincent Woodard also brings up Frederick Douglass's account of black people that have more superstitious and hoodoo or voodoo beliefs rather than Christian beliefs. Like Frederick Douglass was trying to talk about niggas that were Christians as being enlightened niggas, and everybody else is just heathens, dumb niggas. No way, bro. You can be a superstitious, astrological, spiritual motherfucker and be highly intelligent. It's not as if like the idea that Christianity is the truest and only path to enlightenment and intelligence, that is narrow-minded. There's many paths to greatness. Not everyone's path will look the same. But I guess that's what I was really trying to get at. Me bringing up him was gay was more or less to draw the fact that, like I said, black history out of a white mouth is gonna be revisionist history. It's sad, but it's true. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with y'all. We supposed to tell our stories, and if them motherfuckers want to help, just repost the video. If a black person writes something, don't try and be like, well, it needs to be. No. Just be like, hey, check this heat out. Don't try and be in the studio. Don't try and be in the booth, bro. Just be a delivery boy. Maybe. But this is the Lily Pad Porch Chat podcast. Talking to y'all about church and chitlins and other black shit. And other real shit. And before I let you go, remember to make your daily doodle. Check out my comic Eat Kings on Webtoon. It's free. You can do that. Might as well. And follow my socials, my Instagram and such. And my Bluesky and my Substack. I want to start, writing stuff on there for y'all to, hear about. My more serious writings. You can find that there. So just check the link in the description of the YouTube video. I got all the links there to my stuff. You can find it there. But I'll let you go. You got to make your daily doodle. Thank you. And for everybody still listening, I'll, croak to you one more word of advice. Now that everybody else is gone. True intelligence is the ability to make a connection, whether emotional, physical, or anything else beyond that, or whether even if it's just ideological. If you can build a connection, you have a better chance at understanding. And that's why people that are unempathetic or apathetic typically aren't the smartest, even if they are well read. Because the things you know about are the things you care about. Thank you, tadpoles.